Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to COASTER-net Update. We've got some breaking news out of Mason, Ohio, where finally Kings Island has officially started their teaser campaign. Danny, we have been awaiting this, wondering if it would ever come.
Start.
Like we didn't know. We did not know for sure if we would actually see this come to pass. But here we officially have something. And Danny, there is a lot to sink our teeth into. Now, keep in mind, we already know what color the track is. We already kind of know what the layout is based on the leaked documents. So now we're just trying to figure out maybe what the name is, that we have a few trademarks. But these teasers are really intricate. So let me first, Danny, I'm going to throw two up there for you. And
Okay.
the first two that we got in the sequence were Invertigo and Firehawk. So let's look at these posters and break them down, piece by piece, because they're all following a very similar layout. So in the upper right-hand part of the poster, you can see it says Project X, which is what they've been calling this. That matches up to the, the leaked documents as well. So does that lend any more credence to those? I don't know. It could. Are they just trolling everyone? Like, they honestly could just be trolling everyone too. So I don't know. Then we have a sequence number in Roman numerals, mind you. Very reminiscent of Busch Gardens there. So there's a sequence number. We suspect that's the order in which, when we get all of them, in which we should place them. We're not perfectly sure about that, though.
Yes, because each of these posters has a letter, very big, sort of watermarked on them. So we'll get to that in a minute, because the trusty whiteboard down here, we've written those down. So we'll get back to that in a minute.
And then finally, at the upper right-hand corner, we have the date. We have a date, and that is the date for all of them, for what year it opened, what day and year it opened, the ride, the coaster. Then we have, it says research partner, and the first two say Vekoma. So we're going to see later on one say different companies, manufacturers. So that's pretty straightforward. We have a number then, and that number for all of them, we have 4 so far. All of them have been the number of years that it has operated. So we have, I'm looking at Firehawk right here. It says 11. So we know Firehawk closed last year. It opened in 2007. It closed in 2018. So 11 would be your number. And then we have a semicolon followed by 2 letters for the first 3, and then something a little bit different for the one we got to, the most recently. This is the big question mark. We're not really sure what these letters signify, these little letters after the semicolon. And then each poster then, like Danny said earlier, has the big letter that's watermarked onto it. So they all have one single letter that's watermarked. And then from that point, they all take different stances. Some of them have different graphs going on. Some of them have, they say, the tests administered, which I'm assuming is the number of times that the ride ran, how many cycles it ran. Some of them say test purposes and, what the ride does. Like, does it test, like centrifugal force? Does it have inversions? That kind of thing.
That's what there's this Bayern Kurve one has. What does that one say?
So, well, let's start with the Firehawk one. The Firehawk one's actually really funny, and I just realized what I think it's doing here. What color was Firehawk at Jaga Lake? Was it blue and green?
It was green and gray.
So on the poster, there's variation. So it starts with blue, then green, and then gray, and then red. So kind of hearkening back to the different colors.
The X-Flight colors of like the green and the charcoal gray, black, and then sort of goes to the Firehawk, which is the red and the lighter gray.
Did it have any green as X-Flight? It had green in it too as X-Flight, didn't it?
As X-Flight, the track was a bright lime green, and the track and the supports were pretty much, they were basically black. They were a very dark gray, basically black. And then Firehawk had the crimson red track, obviously with the slightly lighter shade of gray.
Interesting, because this is kind of saying that it might have been a navy blue, that track.
You know what? It might have been when it opened.
See, Danny Miller doesn't know colors. We're just establishing that once again here on this show.
It may have been. I never saw X-Flight in person. By the time I went to Geauga, it had already moved. So maybe it was a dark navy blue.
Yeah. So then Invertigo. So Invertigo and Firehawk went up together. The Invertigo one says 20 semicolon AZ again. The AZ throwing me off again. I'm not really sure why the two.
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona comes to mind. I don't know. And then this one also, test purpose, rapid forward, backward motion, effects of extreme gravitational pull. This one has some weird stuff. Testing, rhombus, fuel volume, mech programming. I got nothing there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
What was the original name for Invertigo? It was Face Off, right? I've not seen Face Off. Is that now there? What's funny is there is a brain at the top of this one, and the whole concept of Face Off was they messed with people's brains, right? And they changed their faces.
Yeah, and the
differently.
Face Off was very, very similar to what Invertigo's is now. I know Firehawks also underneath, doesn't it say like FTL and LTF?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so what that means, for those of you who are unfamiliar, the elements where it does a half roll, where you go from the prone position to the back position, Vekoma refers to those elements as fly to lie and lie to fly.
Okay.
So I think that's what those are signifying the fly to lie and lie to fly elements that would take you from laying on your back or being in the prone position.
And some of this stuff might reference the Face Off movie in here. I've never seen Face Off for Invertigo, so I can't say for sure. So someone else might know more. Then we got Flight of Fear. In Flight of Fear, this one has the logo. This is one that, interesting, all the other ones have like the actual coaster, watermarked behind all this stuff as well. This one uses the entranceway, because people probably wouldn't know the Flight of Fear track because you're in the dark. So in theory, if you've only ridden in the dark, you wouldn't actually know what the track looks like. So they actually use the space shuttle inside the queue line as their background.
Okay.
This one says Premiere, obviously, 23, NV, Nevada, Area 51, something like that maybe. I'm not sure there. The
connection is obvious there between, if those letters are indeed a state, but that doesn't, I don't think that is there some sort of connection to Arizona to Vekoma?
Offhand, I don't know. This one talks about test purpose, Roswell tech testing, visual sensory deprivation, and then it has like this chart on the side that results from the fear trials, Flight of Fear, and then it has them it looks like they're like kind of like, I don't know what that picture's from. Old school Kings Island people may know that might be an original picture from the Flight of Fear teasers or campaign early on.
So I know, well, Flight of Fear was originally called Outer Limits, right?
Yeah.
Now was that a TV show? That was
yes.
a TV.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar. I'm doing a search on Vekoma right now to see if I can find any tie to the state of Arizona for whatever reason.
And then the last one we have as we're recording here, this one threw us for a loop, okay? Because we were kind of just expecting just to get roller coasters throughout this process, and they threw in something weird here. They threw in the Bayern Kurve.
This is simply Don playing with your head.
Yes.
Because people who count the
Larson. Or Chad.
What's that?
Chad's their other guy now, too. So it could be either one.
So you think about it, Larson Loop, right? You count it as a roller coaster.
Yeah.
What happens if you put a Larson Loop on its side? It's basically a Bayern Kurve, right?
Yeah.
So this could be a little bit of the a little bit of the tomfoolery being played with the coaster enthusiasts here.
So Bayern Kurve opened in 73. It was open for 9 years. Now this one, we don't get a state reference now. We get 900/HR, which would be 900 an hour.
Human resources, right?
Yeah. Semicolon is greater than 75. So this one, I can't figure out what's going on there. But this one has a W behind it. So the letters previously that we have, Firehawk had I, Invertigo had K, Flight of Fear had O, and then this last one of Bayern Kurve has a W. So putting them in a sequence, you had put them on a whiteboard for us, trying to figure out what's going on here. Not a whole lot of information so far because the game is still new, as they say. So
that's what we have, but we also don't know how many characters are on the end of this either.
Yeah, that's the problem is we do not know how many more are there. We don't even know if these are technically, if the sequence is trying to give us an order of letters.
Yeah, this is just a guess on that that sequence means something. I could see how potentially how the KI could turn into King's Island, but
Yeah.
that would mean that we're going to get, island is a 6-letter word, so we're going to get at least 8 more on the end, and then we have five others in front of it. So that means that we would need 13 more, which we could get if they keep putting stuff up at the clip that they currently have. And I mean, how many roller coasters are there? I mean,
well, currently we got 2 on the first day, and then we received 1 the next day and 1 the day after that. So I'm assuming we're going to get something new almost every day here. It's going to send the fanboys into a frenzy trying to get these pictures, I think.
I mean, if you do have a roller coaster, Beast, Mystic Timbers, Vortex, Racer, Adventure Express, Banshee, Bat, you go through.
Surf Dog.
Well, yeah, you would assume that they would include Surf Dog as well.
Well, they do on their website, so.
Well, do you think that they threw in? They maybe needed 1 more, so they decided to throw in Bayern Kurve?
Or it might be. Or are they trying to do something with a Project X theme? Because so far you have Firehawk that used to have the old X theme. We have the Bayern Kurve, which they put as almost like a rocket ship orbiting the moon. So they're trying to tie everything into a space theme. Flight of Fear is already there. Invertigo is the only one that, is like a test, is what they're trying to say for like different things. So they're almost trying to fit them into this space theme, into this Project X idea. So maybe things like the Beast might not be represented.
Well, and the other thing is, since they've already shown that they're going to do defunct rides, they could also pull, like King Cobra or Son of Beast. They could certainly pull in any of that. I'm going to the Wikipedia page here for, let's see, do we have a list of former Kings Island's attractions?
There's a ton of them here.
So let's just go through some of them here. I'm just going to scroll through and see if I find a bunch with maybe a space theme.
Well, and maybe it's not so much a space theme because Bayern Kurve doesn't naturally have that, but like the Crypt kind of seems like a ride style that you would find in like a NASA research facility or something, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I you have the Crypt, Flight Commander, but you have the
Flying Dutchman was the name of that's the shoe swing ride that eventually went to Kentucky Kingdom.
You've got Halley's Comet, Jetson's Jet Orbiters,
Flying Eagles.
So you have a whole bunch of stuff that naturally fits into it too. Skylab.
Yeah. Even the Zodiac.
Yeah.
Fits quite well actually in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, you really could. And Kings Island has always been all about, the history of the park and all that, and bringing back, you just look at the antique cars this year, so having I think at first I'm like, oh, they're just rolling out all their coasters, and we've seen this done before. Valraven at Cedar Point. I'm kind of like, oh, this is just retreading old ground. But now that they threw in the Bayern Curve, well, now it kind of opens up everything.
Can of worms.
Yeah, it absolutely opens up every can of worms. So I'm a lot more excited about this right now, because it's making me try and think of what's going on here. What are they doing?
Exactly. And, you and I have talked about on several of our other updates here, when are we going to start getting something from Kings Island? Kings Island is, well known for all of their great teaser campaigns. And we're just getting absolutely nothing. Are they just kind of being ho-hum because almost everything's out there? So this is a news flash to all of the PR departments that are coming up with teaser campaigns here. We know almost everything about this ride, and this is still incredibly interesting because, especially since we kind of know the end result. Carowinds didn't really give us much. Carowinds was just kind of throwing stuff out there, and it didn't really mean anything for a while. We have every reason to believe that what Kings Island's giving us means something and somehow is going to tie into this ride. But it's almost like knowing the end result for this one doesn't really matter yet.
Well, here's the ultimate problem. The ultimate problem is there are a lot of people out there that still don't believe the leaked documents. They still don't believe that those are real. And we do know that Kings Island has done stuff like this before. The Bat roller coaster, being a wing coaster before they announced Banshee, was a huge deal. They love misdirection. And are they purposely designing a teaser campaign to play on the Project X leaks, knowing that people know that, and it's actually going to be something completely different?
Or the other side of things is the teaser campaign going to lead us down a completely wrong path, and we're going to get exactly what we know we're going to get.
I don't know, and that's what makes it fun right now, is because we think we're 90% sure we know, but it's that last 10%. It's the Lake Erie monster, Danny. It's we know it's Valraven, but is it Lake Erie monster? And I feel like we're at that point once again, that we think it's Polaris or Orion. We think it's a Giga. We're pretty sure it's all of these things, but maybe it's not.
There's just a little sliver of doubt, enough to make it interesting. And again, this is a lesson here. This is what makes teaser campaigns fun, when you put out stuff that makes people think about things and gets people engaged, and hopefully we get some of it right. We may not get all of it right, but a good teaser campaign does not mean that nobody guesses it or that nobody understands what you're doing, because that's not a good teaser campaign. That's just boring. That's no fun. The Kennywood one with the hints and the word search, that's fun. This, trying to figure out what all these things mean, the sequencing, the dates, having some things that are easy. Okay, the numbers, we know that's the seasons that it operated. The dates, okay, we know that's the opening dates. We have things that we know we're right about. We have things that we think we might be right about. And then we have a few things that we're not really sure about, and we got to try and put the rest of the puzzle pieces together here.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know if I'm at the point where I'm going to be able to keep up with pace here and have a new update every day. But we're going to have more updates now. That is for sure. we will be talking.
We'll have to be, if we keep getting them at this one a day clip, we'll have to do these, every couple of days or so to just come back, revisit, because we're not going to be able to keep up with this every day. And what stinks is it seems like we're getting right into the thick of it here, and in 9 days I leave for Europe. So
there it is, folks. There it is.
We may have to we just may have to be figuring out how we can record some Kings Island shows, because again, if we're going towards that rumored announcement date of the 15th, right, in the evening, which would be just before National Roller Coaster Day begins, then it seems like we'll be right in the thick of the end of this teaser campaign while I'm over there. So we're gonna have to figure something out about how to get some.
Or I might need a ringer. I might need a ringer too.
No, you don't want to do that. People don't listen to anyone but you.
People love Stephen Lynn. People love Stephen.
Well, yes, they do. Stephen Lynn, quite a fine gentleman. So perhaps Stephen can pinch hit for me on a couple occasions.
So as always, I am Andy Robarczyk from Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm Danny Miller from Binghamton, New York.
Right on, Red Warriors.
See you next time, guys. Thanks.